another video about natural science with teacher Elena. Today I'm going to explain you the sexual reproduction in plants. Okay, so let's start. Today is Wednesday, 29th of April 2020. So the first thing you have to remember is that we have studied already the plant nutrition, the plant respiration, and now we are going to study the plant reproduction. These three things, nutrition, respiration, and reproduction, is something that all the living things do. Remember that the living things include the plants, the animals, and the humans, and then the bacteria and other things that we are not going to speak about. So all the living things, seres vivos, have to do nutrition, respiration, and reproduction. Okay, these three things, all the living things. Okay, the difference is that we do the nutrition in different ways. The plants do the photosynthesis, but the humans and the animals don't do the photosynthesis. Okay, we have to do nutrition, but in a different way, by eating animals or by eating plants. Okay, so for the plant reproduction, you need to know different things. So reproduction, oopsie. Okay, so reproduction. Reproduction in plants can be of two types. It can be sexual, that is the one that we are going to study now, sexual, and it can be asexual. Okay, sexual reproduction in plants can be done by angiosperms, that is a type of plant, angiosperms, and gymnosperms. Okay, angiosperms is one type of plant that does sexual reproduction, and gymnosperms is another type of plant that does sexual reproduction. Okay, and in asexual reproduction we can find what are called flowering plants, and we can also find non-flowering plants. Okay, these are called flowering plants because they have flowers, and these are called non-flowering plants because they don't have flowers. Something very important is that angiosperms, gymnosperms, and flowering plants, these three have flowers, and the only type that don't have flowers are these ones. These ones don't have flowers, but all these ones have flowers. That is very important, okay? Today, in this lesson, we are going to study only angiosperms. Okay, in the next lesson, I will explain you gymnosperms, and in the next lesson, I will explain you all of this, asexual reproduction, flowering and non-flowering. Let's see what your book says about the angiosperms. Okay, so here we are in your book. We are on page 58. So if I were you, I would take the book. So, plant reproduction, sexual plant reproduction. I'm reading here. Sexual plant reproduction is a process in which plants reproduce with seeds. Remember that seeds are semillas, seeds. These plants are called flowering plants. There are two types, angiosperms and gymnosperms. Okay? Today, angiosperms. Going to move my head. Okay. So, the angiosperms reproduce by developing seeds inside the fruit. Okay? Let's see the parts of the flowers. We have the pistil, that is the female organ, where we can find the stigma, the style, and the ovary. The stigma is this part, this tube is the style, and this part is the ovary. Okay? And then we have the stamen, that is the male organ. In the stamen, we have the anther and the filament. The anther produces the pollen, okay? And this is the pollen. Okay, let's see how angiosperms reproduce. First off, anther produces pollen. Easy, I just said it. Then animals or wind transfer the pollen into the stigma. This is called pollination. So what is pollination? Pollination is when the wind or the animals take the pollen from the anther to the stigma. Do you see the little hand that is moving? They move the pollen from the anther to the stigma. The stigma is sticky, pegajoso, is sticky, so the pollen sticks to the stigma, okay? Then the pollen goes down the style and into the ovary where it joins the ovules. This is called fertilization. So fertilization is when the pollen goes down the style and then inside the ovary, that is this, and it joins the ovule, okay? Remember that in human reproduction, the ovum got together with the sperm, and when they were together, we had the baby human. This is similar, okay? But in plants, the pollen goes inside the ovary, and then the pollen gets together with the ovule, and we have a fruit and seeds. When the pollen meets the ovule, that is fertilization, okay? When the pollen joins the ovule, this is fertilization. Then seeds begin to develop. The ovary grows into a fruit with the seeds inside, okay? So that means that all this part starts growing and it makes a fruit like a peach, for example, or an apple, okay? And the seeds are inside. If you have seen an apple open, there are little seeds inside. And when you open a peach melocotón, if you open a peach, there is a big seed inside, okay? So the last part is the fruit falls off. Falls off, that means that falls to the ground. Later, it opens on the ground where the seeds can grow into new plants. That means that the fruit, when it's very big, it falls to the ground, and then the fruit opens and the seed goes in the ground and it can start growing a new plant, okay? If we take the apple or the peach and we eat it, that doesn't happen. But if you take a peach, you take the seed and you plant the seed, you can have a new peach plant, okay? A new peach tree, okay? So this is the important part. We have the pistil, that is the female organ, the stamen, that is the male organ, and then we have the fertilization, the pollination, that is when the wind or the insects take the pollen from the anther to the stigma. And then we have fertilization, that is when the pollen goes down the style, goes inside the ovary and joins an ovule. That is fertilization. When the ovule and the pollen join, we have a fruit, and inside the fruit we have seeds. And when the fruit is very big, it falls to the ground, it opens, the seed go to the ground, and they can grow into new plants, okay? I think that's all. Now, last thing, I'm going to leave a list of definitions that are very important here in the comments section, okay? Under this video, you can see a link. If you click the link, it will open a PDF, and in the PDF, you can see the definitions. It's not compulsory to copy the definitions, but if I were you, I would copy them. I mean, it's a good idea to copy them, because if you copy them, you will probably understand what we have explained better, okay? So I recommend you to copy the definitions. Remember that the definitions are here under this video, okay? Well, goodbye. If you have questions, leave a comment or write me in Dojo. Love you. Bye. See you in the next class.